so that you won't be surprised when you've worked for half a year, not seen any results, and people don't understand why you keep going. I want to prepare you for that moment. Here are 5 reasons you might not be ready for entrepreneurship yet. I'll be the first to say that starting a business is one of the greatest experiences you can have, but it's definitely not for everyone. Now, I want to make it absolutely clear that this video is not meant to deter you from starting a business. Absolutely, I want as many startups and entrepreneurs out there as possible. But I say this because being realistic about how difficult it is will make it easier for you to adjust your expectations and overcome those hard moments and keep going. The first reason is, contrary to popular belief or what you see online on social media, building a business or startup, being a founder, whatever you want to call it, is not as much fun as you would think. Now, fulfilling? Yes, incredibly. One of the most fulfilling experiences you will likely find, the way that you create something, watch it grow, the way you care for it. But fun? I wouldn't say so. Starting a business has its sporadic and rare moments of fun when everything is going right and you have those few spikes of success. But most of the time, it's just constant challenges, getting punched in the face, not knowing what you're doing, and just fighting ahead. And so if you're not ready for that kind of challenge, that level of difficulty, then you might not be ready. And so knowing that it's not going to be fun for most of the time is incredibly important when you see all the glory, all the glamour, all the money online, right? Because everyday life is not going to be like that for most people. The second reason you might not be ready for entrepreneurship, and this is kind of a hot take, is that being your own boss is incredibly difficult. I say that because of the accountability and the responsibility that you hold as your own boss. If you are the founder, you are ultimately accountable for everything that goes on in the business, meaning the outcomes, its reputations, how it handles every kind of resource, the way you treat other people, the brand, the image that you have. And you need to take accountability to push yourself forward every day on all the days where you wake up and you don't feel like giving it everything. Those are the days that matter, and those are the days where you want to keep yourself in the game and not fall behind competitors or other people in the market, or just trying to break through and have that first win. The second aspect that I mentioned was responsibility. As I said, you are responsible for everything. If you don't do the work, no outcomes or results will be there. And that can be a tough pill to swallow if you're used to just other people doing work for you, you're used to relying on other people. It doesn't mean you can't collaborate or work with other people, but as a startup founder or an entrepreneur, you are responsible for doing the work to get the outcomes that you want. You're also responsible for how you handle your suppliers, how you treat your customers, how you treat employees for that matter. All of that is your responsibility. And so if you aren't ready for that kind of responsibility and accountability, either one, start out very slowly to kind of mitigate that and start getting a feel for how it actually is, or maybe take on some other challenges that can prepare you for going into that kind of role. The third reason you might not be ready for entrepreneurship is the long hours. When you're working a regular full-time job, it's a 9 to 5, it might even be 9 to 7 or 9 to 8, have long hours. In a regular job, you still have that regular schedule of how many hours you can expect to work. But when you're a startup founder or an entrepreneur, you literally just work all the hours you have available. Now, that can, sound cool in some ways, and I've definitely been guilty of attaching my identity and my pride to how many hours I work, but you literally just fill up your schedule with as many hours of work as possible. It's not like you have a day off or a holiday, spending time with friends and family. Not that you can't do those things, but you have to remember what are the sacrifices and the costs that you incur on your business by doing those things, just as well as you obviously have to realize what the cost of, spending those long hours at work will cost for your relationships. So it's not, it's not black and white in that sense. And it's not that one is better than the other. It's just realizing what the sacrifice or the price tag of wanting to do entrepreneurship is. And it is those long hours, whether you want them or not. Because in short, you don't work from 9 to 5. You work until you're done, either with a given task, or if you finish a project or you launch a product, you just finish until you get there. If you're not willing to do that, maybe entrepreneurship is not for you yet. The fourth reason you might not be ready for entrepreneurship is the uncertainty. You see, despite all the hardship, all the challenges, all the long hours, there is still this element of uncertainty, unpredictability that you will never be able to eliminate. You don't know if it's ever going to work out. You can only have unwavering faith in yourself that if you keep going and make those adjustments, if you pivot enough and you just continue over and over and over and over and over again and never quit, that at some point you will have learned enough to break through the game. But you will ultimately never know. And that is the risk of entrepreneurship. And that's also why uncertainty is one of the biggest killers of entrepreneurship. Because while commitment to your startup is everything, burning the boats and ultimately deleting your regular job to start your business may sound cool, it may feel great, but if you eliminate your stable source of income while you get started without any experience maybe, then you won't be able to pay your bills. And if you have less cash stacked, you won't be able to sustain making those failed attempts for long enough. And why is that important? Well, the reason is if you don't have that much experience, you will need to learn more. And likely it's going to take a lot more time than you think. And so in order for you to conquer that uncertainty, to conquer that learning, that ignorance or learning debt that you have to pay, you have to keep trying and make those mistakes and fail and fail and fail and learn and learn and learn until you ultimately learn the skill, get to where you want to go, find that little detail that's going to make everything work out. If you cut off your job immediately, unless you have some kind of cash stack that you can pay your bills with, you might find that you have to stop prematurely because you don't have the funds to keep going. And uncertainty and all the hard work kind of ties into what Elon Musk has said previously, which is entrepreneurship or founding a business is a little bit like staring into the abyss and chewing glass, meaning that you stare into the abyss and never know if it's going to work out. And chewing glass is that it's just painful over and over and over and over. You just keep getting punched in the face whenever you make those mistakes and things don't work out the way you anticipated. And you have to stop having an opinion of whether that matters or not and just accept that that is the reality of it. And once you overcome that and stop having some kind of feel for whether that's great or not great, or bad or not bad, or good or not good, and just accept that whatever faces you will face you, and the amount of things that you can get over will directly equal the results you will get. You just have to accept the uncertainty and realize that it's going to hurt. If you can accept that and keep going over and over and be okay with not knowing when it's going to work out, then the chances of you succeeding will be incredibly much higher. And the fifth and final reason that entrepreneurship might be too early for you right now is the loneliness. You see, you might have great friends where you're at right now. And I really do hope that for you, because having great friends, having supportive friends is one of the most amazing feelings. But entrepreneurship is lonely. Not a lot of people understand what it takes or are willing to support fully the sacrifices of what it takes. If you have co-founders, you have some people to share the burden with and work with and kind of socialize with while you're starting and building your business, that's definitely an improvement. But ultimately, you're working so incredibly hard on starting this one thing, making one single thing work. You're spending all your time on it. You're not seeing your friends or your family as much as you used to. They might not understand why you're doing it. And if they aren't tremendously supportive, it's going to be hard for them to support that you're making those priorities. And that's because most of the time they will judge your actions, your opinions, and what you do based on their own worldview. And when they don't have the vision, the ambition that you have, it's just never going to make sense for them. And really, you can't blame them for that because they don't have the dream that you have. But that also means that you can't expect it to make sense for them, and you can't expect them to be supportive. And thus, you will naturally glide further and further away from each other, at least in the period where you have to make these sacrifices. And if you're not willing to make those sacrifices and accept that while you are spending all of your time, and I really do mean all of your time, making this work, it will be lonely until you get to a new place with co-founders or like-minded, ambitious peers in a new circle of people around you. If you're not willing to wait for that and endure that, and endure really is the word because it is painful and it is lonely, then maybe entrepreneurship or building a business is not the right thing for you right now. And so I don't say all of this, I don't make this video to dishearten you or to deter you, as I said before, from starting a business. I really want as many entrepreneurs out there as possible. But I make this video, I try and present these topics, these challenges, as ways for you to adjust your expectations so that you will be better prepared once you get started, so that you won't be surprised when you've worked for half a year, not seen any results, and people don't understand why you keep going. I want to prepare you for that moment. That's what this video is for. And so that's why it's not a motivational video. I mean, contrarily, it kind of makes entrepreneurship sound horrible, and it definitely isn't at all. But I want to build you up and prepare you as best as I can so that you at least have some idea of what you're going into. Because being aware of that and being able to adjust your expectations, thinking it's gonna suck, it's gonna be difficult, then you will be much better able to withstand the pressure of wanting to quit when you don't see the results within the first half year, within the first year, within the first 2 years, and you are about to go insane and think, why is this not working? I put everything into this. Those are the exact moments where you have to remember this, say to yourself, this is the crucial moment I can't give up in. This is where I need unwavering faith that it'll work out. And if you can do all of that, if you can believe in yourself to that degree, if you can overcome these 5 difficult hurdles, nothing can stop you. And it's a lot easier said than done. I know, it's also very easy to just make this video, but I really do want to help you. And so if you watched all of this and you still think entrepreneurship is the right path for you, freaking amazing. So happy to hear that. I absolutely love entrepreneurship, and I'm gonna spend the rest of my life pursuing and exercising entrepreneurship. It is the dream for me, and I hope it's going to be the dream for you as well. And if you want help in starting a business for free, without any commitments, I've taken all the materials in my one-on-one startup coaching program and made a free course as part of realizing my mission to make entrepreneurship available to everyone. There's a link in the description. As I said, it takes 30 seconds to get started, sign up, and you get full implementation videos, everything you need to do, templates, and this course is for you to get your first $1,000 in 90 days. Obviously, it's a course, so there aren't any guarantees, but right now I'm working with clients to demonstrate that it works, and you have no commitment, it's completely free, and I really believe that it'll help you get there. If you like this video, please leave a comment saying what kind of entrepreneurship videos you would like to see. Please subscribe so we can reach 1,000 subscribers this year, help more people start businesses. And as always, thank you for watching and stay disciplined.